Hey guys, this is like take number 10 for me right now, trying to get this video started. I've got the worst hiccups today. Still dealing with some GI issues. I'm really hoping that I can make it to my procedure that I've got coming up on January 4th. I actually leave to go to Charleston on January the 3rd, and I'm really hoping that I can just hang in there until my procedure happens, and then I can speak to the doctor about it. I really don't want to go to the hospital early. Still having a lot of pain going on in my stomach, and I've just been dealing with a lot of things. I keep getting the hiccups for some reason, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure it has to do with something with these stents and my pancreas. Ever since this last procedure that I had done, it's just been one thing after another, and the recovery process on this one has taken way longer than any of them have taken in the past, and I guess it's probably due to them putting in the 2 stents in there this past time. And like I said, this next procedure they're going to put in 3, so I'm really not looking forward to it, but that's neither here nor there. Like I said too, I will be filming while I'm in the hospital. I plan on leaving next Wednesday to go down to Charleston. I'll film that day, and then my procedure, I have to be at the hospital at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll do a quick video right before they take me to do my procedure, and then I'll do another video when I wake up. Like I said previously, I'm probably going to be rather upset because these procedures are they're not fun, and they cause me a lot of pain, so I'm just gonna give it to you, the raw, uncut, unedited video for you guys to see that. And if you're looking for a reason not to drink, I promise you this is one of them, because the process that I'm going through right now with my pancreas and everything, and what I've dealt with over the past year, it's just been it hasn't been fun at all. It's been pretty bad, but either way, my son got me a tripod for Christmas, so I'm filming this today on a different angle. Usually I've got the camera turned upright, and today I've got it turned sideways. I'm hoping that it'll fill your screen in if you're watching on a television. I know you get that like line in the center, the way that I was filming it before. So I know probably a lot of you probably watch these videos on your phone, which it works out perfectly. It formats for your phone to open up, or I have a flip phone, but if you've got your regular phone sitting open, it's going to be the whole screen. But if you don't like this angle, the way that I've got it turned right now, let me know in the comments. I just really wanted to try to fill in the whole screen, so if you are watching on television, that you don't get those black lines on the side. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about when I knew that I was an alcoholic. And I had someone in the comment section ask me if I would go into detail about that, and I thought, well, instead of just going over it in a message, I thought it'd be better just to make a video about it. And I'm sure a lot of you would like to know, and maybe I could help you, giving you some of the things that I noticed in myself, my personal life that I noticed, and maybe it could help you in deciding if you have an issue as well. So I'm just gonna write this real quick note down. So one of the first things that I noticed when I knew that I had a serious problem going on was, of course, I was drinking in the morning. And I'm sorry if you guys can hear all that noise in the background. One of my neighbors actually owns a tree company, and I think he's got his wood chipper running today. He's rather far away from me, but his equipment is just loud. I apologize for the background noise. I've been filming in the Jeep the past couple days because we've just had rain all weekend. It's rained here the whole week. It was actually raining here this morning. I didn't think I was going to be able to get outside today and do this, but I just didn't want to film in the Jeep again. I wanted to get back outside and do a film. I'm actually sitting on a towel right now, out here on my makeshift junkyard table that I've got set up out here. It's actually, I'll show you guys what it is at some point, but it's basically an old wooden spool for a cable that I took apart and put 2 mud tires underneath of it, and the seats are all made out of tires that have plywood that I cut circles out of and screwed into the tires. I stacked them up and then screwed them on top and then painted them. But we were saving a bunch of tires because we wanted to plant things in them, and then I did some research on it and found out that's not a good idea because all the chemicals from the tires actually leach into the soil when you're growing stuff. So we had all these excess tires that every time we would see a tire on the side of the road, we'd stop and pick it up, and we just had like, I don't know, like 50 tires that we had been saving, and I was like, what am I going to do with these things? So that's why I did build a table out of it. This thing's not going anywhere. But back to the subject, drinking in the morning was the first thing that I noticed when I was when I knew that I was starting to have a really serious problem. It all started one day. I remember the day that it happened, the first time I ever had a drink in the morning. I woke up really hungover, and I'd heard about the hair of the dog and decided to give it a shot, and it worked. And well, from that day forward, I just continued to do it every day after that. Another thing that happened is I started throwing up all the time. I would get, I would vomit. I was always nauseous, especially in the morning when I would wake up. First thing that I would do, I would wake up with this pounding headache. I would feel just so nauseous, and I would just go and just throw up first thing. I would just go ahead and get it over and done with. I'd gotten so, I don't know if you want to say good at it, but I had done it so much that all I had to do was just go in the bathroom and just lean over the toilet, and I just threw up. There was nothing to it. I didn't have to stick my finger down my throat or anything. It was just, I'd gotten so adjusted to doing it all the time, and I wanted to just get it over and done with, that I would just go right into the bathroom and throw up first thing in the morning. And then on top of it, I would drink, even though it was making me sick. I would wake up in the morning, like I said, feeling just disgusting. I would go throw up, and then the first thing I would do is go make myself a drink. And man, I remember just trying to get those drinks down, and I've talked about this before, but that guy Scott Frieda that's on here that does those videos, he's always doing these videos where he's like trying to take a shot and he's like gagging as he does it, and man, that just hit home with me when he does those videos, because that was exactly what it was like for me. I would sit there and try to get it down and would be gagging as I tried to get it down, and I knew that I had to get it down in order to feel okay. And there were a lot of times that I would try to drink and then I would just throw up right after that. So that was another thing that I noticed. I was always trying to think of ways to get my booze. I've said this before, but my wife and I had a joint account, and if she had, we have ABC stores here in South Carolina. They can't sell booze in any regular store. It has to be a specific liquor store in order to buy liquor. And if I hadn't gone and made a transaction when using our card, she would have seen that right away, because she was always looking at the checking account. So I had to come up with these ways to get alcohol. My checks went straight into our joint checking account. It was direct deposit. So I really had no access to my money in order to purchase those things. And my wife, of course, didn't want me having access to money because she knew what I was going to do with it. And I was always coming up with some kind of scheme or some kind of plot, to come up with the money to buy my alcohol and keep it away from her, keep her from knowing about it. And I can think of all kinds of things I did. I would count change, or if I got a tip from, I used to do private dinners all the time and stuff like that, and when I would do those, people would often tip me in significant amounts of money too. I'm not talking about $50 or something. I'm talking I would get $500 tips for doing these private dinners, because I would work with these people and come up with specific menus just for them, and they would really tip me really well. And a lot of times I would do those. I did what's called a chef's table. So I would bring all my cooking equipment, and they would have like their own private dining room, and I would set all my stuff up on a table, and I would go out there and cook for them. And everything was done table side, and every course I went through with them and explained everything that was going on with it and why it matched up with the wine and all this kind of stuff. So if I got a big tip, that went straight to alcohol, and I would take that straight to a liquor store and just stock up and buy $500 worth of booze, and I would take it and stash it so that I would have it. So that's another big red flag right there. I was hiding my alcohol. I've talked about that before. I hid alcohol everywhere. I had alcohol stashed in every place you could imagine. So if I had a bottle that got discovered, well, guess what? I had 10 more in different areas. There was always a backup, no matter what. I had it, and if it came down to it, it was out in these woods somewhere. Way out there behind some tree with pine straw covering it up. There's just no way they was gonna find that. Lying about my drinking, I was lying all the time. My wife would come home, "You been drinking today?" "No, of course not, I haven't been drinking anything." And I knew she could smell it. Now that I don't drink anymore, I remember just the other day I was in the gas station. There was a guy that was standing in front of me in line, and I'd gone in there to pay for my gas, and you have to pay for cash inside the gas station. And as I was standing behind the guy, I could just smell the booze coming off of him, and I was standing probably 3-4 feet behind this guy, and he was facing the other direction. I could smell it on him, so I know that my wife could smell it as soon as she walked in the door. The whole house smelled like rubbing alcohol or vodka or hand sanitizer. And still to this day, if anybody gets hand sanitizer out and starts rubbing, that smell, it just disgusts me. I don't even use hand sanitizer just for that reason, because the smell, I can't, it just triggers me too much. Like I've said before, the vodka in the water bottles and the mini bottles, I would have my vodka in a water bottle that I would carry around with me, and then I would have the little mini bottles that I filled back up every single day, and I would keep those in my socks or in my pocket or whatever have you, and I would bring it in the house. And like I said, I'd have my beer, and then I would, I gotta go use the bathroom. I'd go in the bathroom and take a couple shots, and then go back in where we were at and pretend like everything was fine, but I was in the bathroom just drinking straight vodka. Another thing that really made me realize that I had a problem was the amount of alcohol that I was pouring in a drink. Like if, for instance, I have this cup right here. I don't know what this is. It's probably like a 20-ounce tumbler or something. But if I was to mix a drink in this cup, it would be like I would put ice in the cup to about halfway, and then the first thing I did when I got a half gallon of vodka was I popped that pour stopper out of the bottle, and then I would pour probably to about right there. All the way up with vodka would go in this cup, and then I would fill it the rest of the way with some Sprite or cranberry juice or soda water, a twist of lime or something like that. But it was majority vodka, and when people saw the drinks that I would pour, they would be like, "What in the world are you doing, man?" And I would drink multiple of those until I would just straight black out. And right into the next subject, blacking out every night. I blacked out every single night. Every night. There were maybe a few that I didn't, but I never remember what happened the night before the next morning. I'd wake up the next morning completely oblivious to what had happened the night before. There were a lot of times that I'd wake up and my wife would be like pissed at me, and I would have to, I would walk around the house pretending like everything was okay, and then I'd have to go to her and say, "All right, what happened?" And then I'd have to hear about something I said or did the night before, and I had no recollection of what I had done. Absolutely none. She could have straight up told me, she could have said that I got a knife out and held it to her throat the night before, and I would not have remembered. That never happened. I'm just saying that she could have said that something like that happened, and it never did. But, I had no idea. I really had no idea at all. Waking up, not remembering anything at all. I've already went through that. I was always coming up with excuses to drink. You know, if we were outside building something for the farm, well, of course I have to drink while I'm building this fence. We were building a running shed for the horses. Well, of course I have to drink while I'm building this running shed. I can't build something and not drink while I'm doing it, because everything I did was associated with alcohol. You know, oh, I gotta cut the grass today. Well, of course I gotta get a case of beer to do that. Or, you know, I've got to do this and that around the house. Well, of course I have to drink. I mean, everything I did was associated with alcohol. So once again, another thing that I started to see that I was having a serious problem. Then I started having like the health issues. I started having the pain in my side, my left side right here. I started having pain up in my pancreas area, up underneath the rib cage. I would start getting pain really bad right there. I would get really bad pain. Well, not really, really bad pain. It was like a really weird dull pain that I would get in my liver. And I would feel that all the time. I constantly had this like dull, achy feeling in my liver area, and I could feel that my liver was swollen. It was large. If I laid down and then pushed down on it, and I had a lot of stomach fat, and I think ascites going on at the same time too, so it's kind of hard to push down on there, but I could feel that my liver was swollen. You know, like I said, my blood pressure was always really high. Anytime I went to the doctor, my blood pressure was high. I was having all kinds of GI issues, you know, constant going to the bathroom, the nausea, the vomiting, the pain in where my pancreas is located, the pain in my liver. I would have headaches all the time. My face was constantly red. Like I said yesterday, the day before in the video, the red splotches on my face had come up, had the spider veins developing. I remember my brother came to me one day and was like, "Hey man, you know that's associated with drinking." And I was like, "There's no way. That's not what that is. That's rosacea." One of the members at the club that I used to work at, that private dining club where I was the chef, one of the members was a dermatologist, and she had walked back in the kitchen to talk to me about something one day, and she took a look at my face. She goes, "You know, we can do something about that." And I was like, "Oh, I had no idea." And she told me about some creams and stuff that she could give me to put on there. She actually brought me some, and I started applying it to my face, and they actually started to go away a little bit. But that was not rosacea. That was from the drinking and the high blood pressure and all that stuff. So there's just some things that I noticed that when I realized I started having a bad drinking problem. And, you know, if any of those things apply to you, you know, I'm not saying that you are or you aren't, but, you know, maybe it might be time to take a look at yourself and decide if you might need to stop, slow down, or whatever have you. But you know, I would suggest just not drinking any longer. But you know, if you feel like that you could handle it, and you know, you could slow down, you know, that's always another option as well. But there's no way in the world that I could ever do it ever again. I couldn't just have one beer. I know where it's going to lead. And not to mention, the doctors have already been really clear with me that if I was to drink again, that's pretty much it. So I might as well just go ahead and sign my you know what certificate if that happens. So anyway, that's it for all that stuff. Coming up on Saturday is going to be the live video again. I'm going to talk about this every day. Live video Saturday the 30th at 12 o'clock. It's going to be a Q&A. You can ask me anything you want on there. Like I said yesterday, if it's something that I'm not willing to answer, I'm not going to be rude about it. I'm just going to say I don't feel comfortable answering that. And next question. But, you know, like I've said, I'm a really open book. I really don't foresee seeing anything like happening like that, but if it does, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I'm not gonna be rude about it. I'll just say I just don't want to talk about that. So feel free to ask me whatever you like. I mean, I think it's pretty much common sense, you know, what I'm gonna answer and what I'm not. You know, there's just some things that I'm not gonna answer, but either way, I'm not gonna keep beating a dead horse. I do want to say thank you, everybody, for all the comments that I got yesterday from yesterday's video. I got a lot of really nice comments. People telling me they completely agreed with me, you know, that the situation was not okay. And I really appreciate you guys standing beside me on that one. You know, I said that I did stick around that night, and I had a lot of people telling me, you know, that was good for you for staying and you didn't ruin it for everybody. And that was a really hard one for me to do. I really wasn't sure if I should have stayed or if I should have went home that night or not. And I'm glad I stayed and just stuck it out. You know, just for the sake of the kids. You know, they got to enjoy their Christmas, and my kids and my nephews all got to play together, and they had a great night that night. I mean, they played the whole time. They were really upset when it was time for us to leave, actually, because they were having such a good time. So I'm glad I didn't, you know, just do what I thought I needed to do for me, and I stuck it out. And like I said, it was tough, but it wasn't just about me. I mean, it was Christmas time. If it had been any other time of the year, I probably just would have went home. But, you know, with it being the holidays and the grandkids were all over there and everything, I wanted them to have a good time. And I appreciate everybody saying everything you did, you know, that, like I said, that I did the right thing by hanging out there, and everybody sticking beside me and saying that I made the right choice. So I really appreciate everybody being there for me. You know, like I've said, this is my life, and I'm sharing it with you guys, everything, especially if it pertains to alcohol. And you know, I just want to give everybody the opportunity to you know, to walk in my shoes as much as possible, and get somewhat of an idea of what it's like, you know, dealing with this disease, and all the things that I deal with health-wise, the health consequences I have due to my alcohol consumption. And if, you know, if I can just help one person go, man, I am not drinking that, and it seems like that's already happened. I've had so many people reach out to me and say that I quit because I watched your video. And you know, like I've said in the past too, you know, you make sure that you speak to your doctor if that's something that you're gonna pursue, because it can lead to some serious complications if you quit abruptly without a doctor's supervision, depending on how long you've been drinking, because it can potentially cause you some serious health issues, the seizures, and potentially, you know, what can happen as well. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, guys. Let me know about the camera angle. If you don't like that, I'll go back to filming it the way I was beforehand. I just figured I'd go ahead and give this one a shot today. I'll take a look at it on my TV and see how it looks. But please give me some feedback on that. If you like me filming it the old way, I'll go right back to it. Let me know if you like this way. And give me some more ideas for some videos for this week. Anything you guys would like to see me talk about, love to hear it. The links for the Facebook profile and the Instagram page will be in the video description again today. Got a bunch of people reach out to me yesterday on Facebook and Instagram. Please, guys, keep jumping in there and joining up. And like I said, if you need to talk to somebody, I'm here. I've had quite a few people direct message me on Instagram and Facebook. I'm completely cool with that. If you need to talk to somebody, just message me. I'm here all the time, and I'm willing to talk to you and help you through whatever you need. So with that said, guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you stuck all the way through, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Love you guys. Bye.